Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. Chairman Sessions, Ranking Member Slaughter, and the members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. I'm pleased to testify in support of my resolution H.J. Res. 43, disapproving of the Obama administration's December the 16th ruling, forwarding states' ability to fund health care providers that best suit their needs under the Title X program. As members of this committee may know, the Title X program has existed as a federal family planning grant program since 1970. And states have always, and I want to emphasize that, states have always had the freedom and the flexibility to dole out those grants to the providers of their choice. This is nothing new. It has always been that way. In my home state of Tennessee, for example, our Title X funding goes exclusively to the Department of Health, which then determines appropriate subgrantees. These are made up of primarily our county health departments. We've been able to effectively use our share of Title X funding to provide women and their families with the care they need, all while asserting our state's rights to steer these taxpayer dollars away from abortion providers in our states. Now, under the 11th hour, the Obama administration's rule, finalized after President Trump was elected and made enforceable just 2 days before he took office, Tennessee lost that right. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, it is not the role of politicians in Washington to usurp the state's 10th Amendment rights and substitute our judgment for that of state and local leaders. We must return to a point where states are empowered to make their own health care decisions based on their unique needs of their community and their constituency without fear of reprisal from the federal government. It is also worth noting that the Obama administration's rule is simply not grounded in fact. This edict was replete with statements that the administration cannot back up. For example, the rule stated that the health care providers with a focus on reproductive health, for example, Planned Parenthood, can accomplish Title X programmatic objectives more effectively. This is demonstrably false. According to Planned Parenthood's most recent annual report, and this is their report, Planned Parenthood's contraceptive services dropped by 18% last year. This is their report. And their total number of services provided dropped by 11%, even as their taxpayer funding increased by millions, and their abortions continued at a rate of 320,000 a year. What's more, the research that the administration cited in this rule is far from unbiased. Consider this. The finalized HHS rule cites research from the Guttmacher Institute nearly a half a dozen times throughout its pages. If that name sounds familiar, that's because Guttmacher was formerly an entity housed within Planned Parenthood Federation of America and is even named after a former Planned Parenthood president. Members of the committee, if an administration is going to impose sweeping new rules limiting states' rights, the least they could do is to provide proper supporting documentation. Now, I have heard from some of the criticisms of this resolution that exist already, and so let me be very clear about this resolution. 1, passage of my resolution does not defund Planned Parenthood. Let me say that again. It does not defund Planned Parenthood, though I have always been unapologetically supportive of such a measure. Instead, this resolution simply honors the wishes of states that have taken action to withhold Title X funding from abortion providers and restores the status quo from before December the 16th, 2016. Further, this resolution does not alter federal funding levels for Title X. And finally, this resolution does not leave women without access to preventative health care. As members of this committee may know, I've been a nurse for more than 40 years, and I have dedicated my career to protecting the health and safety of women, children, and families. With this resolution, we simply are allowing states to invest in the women's health care over abortion and to reallocate those Title X dollars to other, more comprehensive providers, for example, community health centers, which really outnumber Planned Parenthood clinics by a margin of 20-1. I urge the members of this body to stand on the side of the 10th Amendment and move this legislation to the House floor for a vote. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.